It's a big deal for a stand-up to get their own comedy special, whether it's Netflix or Amazon or HBO or YouTube. But it's an even bigger accomplishment when a comic gets their shot and they get to have their set released in movie theaters. Here are the top grossing stand-up comedy concert movies of all time. At number 10, Bette Midler stars in Divine Madness, released September 26, 1980. Most people know her for her acting and singing, but most forget that she was adept at stand-up comedy as well. Before she hit it big, Midler began singing at the Continental Baths. That's a gay bathhouse in the basement of the Ansonia Hotel. During this time, she became close to her piano accompanist, Barry Manilow, also a regular performer at the Continental Baths, who produced her first album in 1972. The film went on to make $5.3 million. At number 9, Kevin Hart, Laugh at My Pain. That one was released September 9th, 2011. $7.7 million gross. The megastar comedian's first stand-up concert film. At number 8, You So Crazy, Martin Lawrence. Remember how huge Martin Lawrence was. This movie made $10.1 million. It's his very first stand-up comedy concert film. It originally received an NC-17 rating from the MPAA, causing Miramax, that's the film's original distributor, to sell it to Samuel Goldwyn, which released it unrated April 29th, 1994. At number 7, Richard Pryor, Here and Now. It made $16.1 million in 1983. It starred, was written, and directed by Richard Pryor. The film was released in the United States on October 28th, 1983. Recorded at the Sanger Theater in New Orleans, Louisiana, it was the final of Richard Pryor's 3 concert films. At number 6, Martin Lawrence, Run Tell Dat. As Martin's follow-up to his first concert film, made $19.1 million, released August 2nd, 2002. At number 5, Kevin Hart, What Now? Released October 14th, 2016. The movie made $23.5 million. This one had a spy subplot. It's set before the events of the performance. Kevin Hart is a secret agent for MI6 and attends a poker game event with his date, Money Berry, played by Halle Berry, only for it to go horribly wrong. At number 4, Kevin Hart again. Let Me Explain. This is Kevin's second concert film. It's also his most financially successful, earning $32.2 million. Like What Now, this one also had a subplot. Kevin is throwing a celebration party, but guests tell him that he's changed since his divorce. He tries to explain himself, but they will not let him, so he decides to do a show at Madison Square Garden, Letting Him Explain, which sold out with 30,000 people. The film also shows performances of his sold-out shows from all around the world. July 3rd, 2016. At number 3, Richard Pryor, Live on the Sunset Strip. $36 million was its haul, released May 12, 1982, and was the most financially lucrative of the comedian's concert films. The material includes Pryor's frank discussion of his drug addiction and of the night that he caught fire while freebasing cocaine in 1980. At number 2, the original kings of comedy, Bernie Mac, D.L. Hughley, Cedric the Entertainer, and Steve Harvey. The movie made $38.1 million, released August 18, 2000. Directed by Spike Lee, it was shot over the last 2 nights of the concert tour. That's February 26th and 27th of 2000. In a November 2022 interview on Shannon Sharp's podcast, Club Shay Shay, Cedric the Entertainer revealed that during the actual live tour and filming, he was the closing act, and Bernie Mac actually went second after D.L. Hughley. But after the filming, the producers and editors of the tour decided it would be best to edit the footage to put Cedric as the second act and Bernie Mac as the closing act. And the granddaddy of stand-up comedy concert films is Eddie Murphy Raw, coming in at number 1, directed by Robert Townsend. Like Pryor, Eddie Murphy became the biggest star in the world by the time his one and only stand-up concert film was released. The film was released in the United States on December 18th, 1987. It is the highest grossing stand-up comedy concert film ever released, making $50.5 million in the United States and Canada. Interesting note on Eddie, he's widely acknowledged as one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time, but only ever released 2 comedy albums, one in 1982 selling 1 million copies, the next in 1983 selling 2 million copies. He never performed more than 11 shows in a single year and left stand-up altogether by the time he was 27 years old, an age when most stand-up comics are just getting their sea legs on stage. In recent years, there have been rumblings about Eddie making a comeback, but so far it hasn't happened. Word is that Eddie has become kind of concerned about living up to his own legendary status. Trust us, Eddie, we're ready for you to hit the stage again, and you're going to get all the grace you need from millions of Eddie Murphy hungry fans. Honorable mention to Richard Pryor Live in Concert. January 1979, it was released and is produced and distributed independently for $750,000. It's the very first full-length feature film consisting of only stand-up comedy. It's generally considered the very best of Pryor's 3 concert films. There's also a double album that accompanied this movie called Wanted Live in Concert, making it the very first double album by a stand-up comedian as well. It was recorded at other dates during the same tour and features much of the same material included in the film. The movie went on to make $15.8 million. That would place it in the top 10 stand-up comedy films of all time, actually number 8, but for some mysterious reason, it's not included amongst the official top 10 by IMDb. In 2021, the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. That's your top 10 highest grossing stand-up comedy films of all time. For Who's Got Jokes, I'm Marcus Osborne.